Hey guys, Ashwin Sundar here from Technology Jock, back with another not an unboxing video, which is a new series on the channel. And if you have not watched the previous 2 to 3 videos in the series, let me just give you an introduction. This is a new series that I've started to, bring you a real life experience. When you purchase a new phone and you unbox it and start using it for a couple of days, during those first 24 to 48 hours, you start noticing certain things that, really surprise you, excite you. You probably come across something that's good, which you did not expect to see in the first place. And of course, you'll also come across certain bad things about a phone, some software glitches. So that's the kind of, first 24 to 48 hour experience that I'm trying to bring you through this series of videos. So let's get started. By the way guys, a quick update. Our sponsor for this video, Glazed Ink, has already made a fantastic tempered glass for the Narzo 20A. So definitely check them out if you're planning to buy this. Of course, Glazed Ink also has tempered glasses for a lot of other phones as well, including the Realme 7 Pro, Galaxy M51 and so on. What's special about Glazed Ink is that they have actual 2.5D curved glass along the edges, so the entire screen is covered and protected. No air bubbles or awkward gaps, which you might get from installing any other tempered glass in the market. So link in the description. Just make sure you use the promo code TJOCK to get 10% discount. We have the Narzo 20 Pro. Now, well, I used to think the Narzo series is only for, below 10K segment. But right now we have a couple of phones above 10K with the Narzo 20 as well as the 20 Pro. Now specifically, the Narzo 20 Pro is an interesting device in this segment because of a couple of things. Number one, it has one particular feature that you cannot find in this segment at all. It's a flagship feature. And number two, because it has created a huge confusion among consumers because it is priced at 15,000 rupees, which is also what the Realme 7 costs, which was also launched recently. But don't worry, this video is not just me sharing my experience, but also doing a little comparison between the Narzo 20 Pro and the Realme 7 and helping you with which one to pick in case you're confused between these two. Of course, there are other phones in this segment which you should also check out. So let's start with the design and the build. Now, when I had a look at this for the first time, I was quite surprised to see Realme had made a lot of changes to this back panel, because the Realme 7 is currently one of the best looking devices under 15,000 rupees. So I was wondering why the Narzo 20 Pro should have anything else apart from this. Now, just when I was wondering, I had a look at the spec sheet and turned out these both have the exact same dimensions, the same height, width and thickness. And this one is not impressive in my opinion. The way it looks is quite good actually, and that's only when the back is clean, because it's extremely prone to fingerprints and smudges, and just a couple of wipes and you'll see my fingerprints all over the back panel. It's pretty bad, and the quality itself also feels very cheap. It is nowhere near how premium the Realme 7 feels, so huge downgrade in my opinion for the back panel. One good thing though is that it's slightly lighter than the Realme 7, probably because of the fact that this one has a 4500 mAh battery compared to 5000 mAh on the Realme 7. And we've got this exact same display as well, 6.5-inch Full HD plus IPS LCD display with 90 Hz refresh rate. Good to see Realme sticking with it for this phone, because that's also one of the USPs of the Realme 7. Now, the screen is protected by Gorilla Glass, but Realme hasn't specified which version of Gorilla Glass it is, so it's probably 1 or 2, because even if it's 3, Realme usually mentions it somewhere. But this one I wasn't able to find it, so maybe it's 3, maybe it's 2, or even 1. Anyway, anything older than Gorilla Glass 4 or 5 is pretty bad by today's standards. Now, when I was using this for the first few hours, I didn't really notice any difference in the display quality itself. On paper, it's exactly the same, and practically in real life usage as well, I didn't really notice any difference. It gets as bright as the Realme 7's display gets, and right now I'm sitting outdoors under the hot sun and the sunlight legibility is quite good. But when I looked at them side by side, I realized, the Narzo display's colors are balanced a little better, as in the colors are slightly more accurate, but of course you can completely ignore this because this is probably a very minor difference. That's probably why I was able to notice it only while holding both phones in my hand and looking at the displays at the same time. I also played a couple of YouTube videos and played a movie on Netflix for a couple of minutes just to test the display and the sound, and I'm quite surprised by the loudspeaker. I mean, it's probably the same as the Realme 7 speaker. It gets reasonably loud and the quality is also good. The Narzo 20 Pro should perform as good as the Realme 7 thanks to the Mediatek Helio G95 chip, which is an upgrade to the Helio G90T chip found on the Realme 6 and Redmi Note 8 Pro and so on. And we all know how well the G90T handled high-end games, and this is no exception. The G95 is almost identical to the G90T, except the GPU is slightly overclocked. So you can expect even better gameplay. That was the case with the Realme 7 as well, and I also played Call of Duty for a few minutes and I was thoroughly impressed. Now, coming to the major differentiator between these phones, the Narzo 20 Pro has support for 65 watts fast charging, and the 65 watt SuperDart Charger is included in the box. Now that's mind-blowing. Realme claims it can be charged from 0 to 100% in just 38 minutes, and even while heavy gaming, it can go from 0 to 47% in just 30 minutes. Now, Realme made a similar claim for the Realme 7 Pro as well, that it can be charged up to 43% in 30 minutes while heavy gaming. So I kind of took that up as a challenge and did a gaming plus heating plus charging test together at the same time. You can watch that video here. And going by how the Realme 7 Pro performed in that video, I can say that the Narzo 20 Pro should hold up quite well in a similar test. Initially, when I saw the rumors and when I tweeted this out, I just thought maybe they'll sell it separately for 2,000 or 3,000 rupees. But then I was pleasantly surprised to see it inside the box itself. And that is the reason we have been seeing some of the downgrades we have discussed so far, like the cheap back panel and the slightly lower capacity battery. Another downgrade is the main camera. Now, time to go around and get some sample shots. Let's see how the photos turn out. We've got Samsung's GW1 48 megapixel sensor instead of the Realme 7's 64 megapixel Sony sensor, but the remaining three cameras are exactly the same. We've got an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, a 2 megapixel macro camera, and a 2 megapixel depth. Okay, forget it. It's not a camera. And we've got a 16 megapixel selfie camera on the front. Now, had I done just an unboxing video, I would have probably told you the specs, moved on to the next topic, but in this case, since I actually took some time to use the phone, I realized one more thing about the cameras. Now, it's not just the hardware, there are some differences inside the software as well. The Realme 7 has the new Starry mode in the Nightscape mode, which is found on the Realme 7 Pro and the more expensive Realme X3 Super Zoom as well. That's one of Realme's latest premium features, and that is not found on the Narzo 20 Pro. And one more thing, the main camera clicks 12 megapixel images by default thanks to pixel binning, but if you want, you also can go to the 48 megapixel mode and click 48 megapixel pictures. Similarly, on the Realme 7, there is a 64 megapixel mode, and in that mode, you can switch to Pro mode to adjust these settings yourself. ISO, shutter speed, white balance, autofocus, you can change anything you want, and that is also not found on the Narzo 20 Pro. But fortunately, the differences end right there. We've got dual band Wi-Fi on this, we've got Bluetooth 5.0 and GPS. They are all exactly the same on both phones. There is absolutely no difference. So overall, to put it simply, you should probably watch reviews before buying either phone. But if you really want to rush and you want to know what are the advantages and disadvantages of both phones, I'll just give you the short version. If you want a better built phone with more premium looks, better main camera, 64 megapixel Sony sensor, a couple of additional handy software features, and the extra 500 mAh battery, then the Realme 7 is the one for you. And this loses all of these features and instead gets a 65-watt fast charger inside the box. And frankly speaking, going by how people are talking about this phone on social media, people are like, yeah, they've given 65-watt fast charger, but they've reduced the battery capacity from 5000 to 4500 mAh. So what's the point? Well, actually speaking, that is not the main problem here because Realme UI is quite optimized. It's been almost a year since its arrival and I'm quite happy with it right now. It is quite smooth, it is fast, and the battery optimizations are excellent. So even with a 4500 mAh battery, we can expect it to last around a day and a half for sure, unless something is terribly wrong with the phone, like they've messed up the software or anything. To me, the more important issue here looks like the back panel. And given that the base variant, the 6GB RAM 64GB variant of both the phones start at 15,000 rupees, literally the same price. So of course there is a catch. Of course Realme had to downgrade certain things in order to keep this phone affordable enough. The main USP here is the 65-watt fast charging. There are some users who don't really care about how a phone looks because they'll probably slap a skin or they'll just use the case, so they don't really care about how the back panel looks. So the point here is there is an audience for everything. So you let me know in the comment section, if you were to buy a phone under 15,000 rupees, which one would you pick? The Narzo 20 Pro or the Realme 7 or any other phone? Let's say the Redmi Note 9 Pro. Let me know in the comment section. I'm looking forward to your answers. Do let me know if I should do any comparison video between these two phones. Let's say a camera comparison between the 64 megapixel and the 48 megapixel camera or anything else. Feel free to let me know in the comment section. I'll try to get it done. Do let me know if you like this format of videos. Should I continue the series or not? Definitely let me know. I'm just getting started with this, so I need your opinion and your feedback is always important. You guys commented that my beard was bad, so I trimmed it. See, your feedback is important. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Take care and bye.